list of African countries Michael Langley has visited. Now, for those who don't know Michael Langley is the black man who accused Captain Ibrahim Traore of using the country's natural resources for himself and even issued for his arrest. This man right here.
Call them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves.
Now we all know that they installed him as a commander of the U.S. Army in 2022. When he became a commander, the first place that he visited was Morocco and Tunisia. The main reason why he visited those places was to pay his last respect to over 2,800 deceased American soldiers who died during the World War II. And that was around October 2022. Roughly a year after that, he visited 3 African countries at a go. And that was his second visit to Africa: Senegal, Algeria, and Ghana. Now I want you to take note of Algeria because that is the 3rd country he visited, and a lot of interesting things has happened before he visited Algeria and after he visited Algeria. This video is going to be a pretty detailed video of the things that happened either before or after Michael Langley visited these African countries. So grab your popcorn and let's go. During his second visit to Africa, that was between February 6th to February 10th, 2023, he came to Ghana. And when he came to Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo was then the president of Ghana. Before he visited Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo in December 14th, 2022 went to do Kokonsa about Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, for those who don't know what Kokonsa is, Kokonsa means backbiting. It means gossiping.
Prime Minister of Burkina Faso in the last 10 days has been in Moscow. And to have them operating on our northern border is particularly distressing for us in Ghana.
He reported Captain Ibrahim Traore to the U.S. Secretary of State when they held a seminar in 2022. That was 14th December 2022. And then roughly a year after that, Michael Langley came to Africa to visit Algeria, Ghana, and Senegal. On his 3rd visit to Africa, it was very specific and direct. He came direct to Algeria. I'm talking of 22nd January 2025. When he came to Algeria, listen to this. When he came to Algeria, he signed a memorandum of understanding between the Algerian government and the U.S. Army. For what was signed inside the memorandum, nobody knows. But after he signed that memorandum, few months after that, say 2 months after that, Algeria bombed Mali's drone. That happened somewhere in 1st April 2025, which is roughly 2.5 months after Michael Langley visited Algeria. You get a point now. You get the things that are coming together now. It's quite interesting how the turn of events happened after his visit. Well, I don't want to blame him for anything, but I'm just speaking from real fact so that you get to understand what is really going on. Or you can make the analysis for yourself. Oh, and I didn't mention, he visited Kenya, specifically William Ruto, in November 2024. That was after
to catch
the
a killer
Gen Z
in a crowd.
protest happened in Kenya.
All it takes
And about the Gen Z protest,
is one.
the reason why that
Little.
protest came off in the first place was because during the 2024 budget that the government released, the Kenyan government released, they
The month
introduced
before,
new
the government, led by its
taxes.
president William Ruto, proposed
And the funny
its
thing
annual
about those
budget,
taxes is
the 2024
he
finance
taxed
bill.
commodities like bread, mobile money transfer, and sanitary pads.
We must be able to enhance our taxes.
How can you be taxing sanitary pads? How? How, man? Like, how? With all the natural resources that Kenya has, the Kenyan government have not been able to utilize those resources. The people of Kenya are already being burdened with taxes all across daily commodities. And in 2024, you again introduced another tax, even on sanitary pads and bread. The most interesting thing about this thing is when he laid out the tax, the people of Kenya said, no, we don't want these taxes on us. We are tired. And guess what? The democratic, self-acclaimed democratic leader of Kenya did. He still passed on the tax anyway. You know one funny thing? When the people of Kenya were protesting against those taxes, over 200 politicians were in parliament voting either for the tax to be implemented or for the tax to be revoked. And guess what? Over 160 politicians voted that the tax should be implemented.
I vote
But I thought
yes.
it was a democratic government. Therefore, the government have no option than to listen to the people and do what the people say. So how come the interest of the politicians was superseding that of the civilians? Talk me. And when the civilians decided to show their power,
These 3 young men were killed in this
unalived
parliament.
over 3 people.
David
Imagine.
Chege, Erickson Mutisia,
When the
and Eric
civilians were
Shiani.
approaching the parliament house to make sure that their voice was heard, they went ahead and released the police and army force that were supposed to protect the citizens, honor citizens. That this police force starts shooting and killing all the citizens. Can you imagine? You call this democracy? No, tell me, describe how democracy in your country works in capital letters. Describe it to me because I don't understand. All these things happened in your country. And Kenyan president, together with his Senate, is it Senate or subordinate,
I am
had
not a
the
big fan
effrontery
of that particular
to
gentleman.
stand on the podium
I used to also fall for his hype. I am not
to
a big fan
discredit
of
Captain
that
Ibrahim
particular
Traore of ruling in a military stance. Because we are afraid. You don't do what the people say. You had the effrontery. This guy, the president disregarded, discredited Ibrahim Traore. The Senate discredited Ibrahim Traore, sitting in parliament, doing all this stuff, and you call it democracy. After that thing happened,
Is one
in June 2024,
little click.
Michael Langley came to visit Kenya in November 2024. Just imagine, they are peacemakers, right? Peacemakers, that's what they are, right? When all these things happened and the people's voice were oppressed and the self-acclaimed peacemaker went to visit the president, he didn't mention anything about abuse of power, about use of natural resources to protect himself, with the use of the national security to protect himself. But it was just a peaceful talk between William Ruto and Michael Langley. And when Captain Ibrahim Traore were doing all this good stuff to make sure his people were in good hands, you go on and ahead and pick a mic.
Know that,
Very shameless.
Whether it's the
And accuse Captain Ibrahim Traore of using
that is
the natural
all
resources
those
for himself.
proceeds are just in
How
exchange
shameless.
to protect the
Bro.
the junta.
The Kenyan
That
president, when
evening,
that
President Ruto gave his account of what
protest
had happened.
He came on the
today
podium and said that
an otherwise legitimate
expression
expression of the fundamental rights
planned
and
to
freedoms of
breach
assembly was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of
the
organized
National
criminals.
the National
Though he
Council of
regretted the
State.
deaths, he thanked the
And then the
security
security
forces and placed the
forces
blame
dealt
squarely
with
with those he called organized criminals.
Now, he did not acknowledge the people's protest. Neither did he blame or prosecute any policeman for eliminating over 3 people. He came on power and you're talking about yourself, your life. And I had to take that protest with the life of 3 people being eliminated before you, President of Kenya, dropped those taxes. Michael Langley came and he had a peaceful talk with you. Yet, Michael Langley is roaming all over the African countries, planning coups and plots against Captain Ibrahim Traore. Can you imagine?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that.
The level of puppetry with regards to most of the African leaders in Africa is disheartening. My God, I'm even short of words right now. Hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us, and share this message so that people get to know the main traitor that is present in our times. 30th April, which is tomorrow, protest in solidarity with Captain Ibrahim Traore is coming on. For the people of Ghana, we are meeting at Accra, Blaster Square, Temale. We are meeting at Stadium. For Takrady people, we still want an advocate and where we are going to meet.
You will not get any advocate for Takrady. By what you doing for Ghana?
Go ahead and sit down. These are the t-shirts that are being dispersed for the protest. So if you want to get one of these t-shirts, you must contact the numbers on your screen today because they are doing pre-order. So you contact the number on your screen today. It is a t-shirt and a cap. Contact the number on your screen today and then order for that t-shirt, and then you're going to get the delivery. Another protest is coming on 15 May, and this time we are marching to all the US Embassy and the French Embassy with one big aim or with one big message that keep your hands off Captain Ibrahim Traore. We like our president. It is our resources. Let him abuse it. Let him use it. We like it like that. We have never sent you to come and save us. You understand? Yes. So, order these t-shirts through the number on your screen, and I'll see you in the next video. The Ghanaian government are doing something incredible with their gold reserves, currency depreciation, and a new chip embedded passport. The next video is going to be about that. So make sure you like, follow and subscribe and share the content to a lot of people. So that you don't miss out. Till we meet again.